What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Party Chats. I am your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week, Ashley Dye, Dan Gilbert. I don't know which one to introduce first, so I never know whether to go alphabetically by first name or second name. Well, either way, it would be you first, I suppose.
Yeah.
But right side first? No? Really? I don't know. Anyway.
Just choose your favourite each week.
Okay, well, this week, Dan Gilbert. So, for anyone joining us for the first time, Party Chat is a weekly show that the three of us do every Wednesday. Knock on wood. The show will go up and it will just be a short conversation where we chat about anything video game related. It could be something topical or it could be something that's just been on our minds for a long time. This week it will be topical because I need to apologise that our Game of the Week show did not make Monday. It was not really my fault. It was the don't tell him. It was the internet provider's fault. The uploads failed 3 times so far, so hopefully it'll be up by the time you watch this. So this topic, guys, I wanted to bring delays to the table. They've happened to us this week. They happened to video games.
It does happen.
They've happened in the video game world this week. Obviously, we had Project Cars delayed a 3rd time to May 2015, and the big one, Uncharted, to spring 2016. So what do you guys, Ash, what do you think of delays? Are they good? Are they bad? What's your opinion on them?
Well, there's no right answer. I think they're both, depending on the circumstances. And if we look at Uncharted, I think it's fair to say that the delay is probably good for the game. It's quite a push to spring. I mean, it's a good few months. I think that's probably good for the game, and it gives the developers the right time to get it right. Project Cars, on the other hand, 3 delays. I think certain people who may have been wanting that game at first release probably are losing a bit of interest and patience with it now. So
yeah, I
think there's 2 sides. I think if you're going to delay a game, I think we said it in the Game of the Week show previously that maybe you should be a bit more pessimistic maybe instead of optimistic, and maybe just push it out a bit farther than what you think. And if you can then bring it out a little bit earlier, that's great. People love it if you could bring it forward.
Yes, that's a good point. I mean, we saw, I can't remember what game it was. I'm sure we've announced when a game came forward a week earlier, it was like, this is unheard of.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
people will always be excited for good news and
exactly.
not so excited for bad news. I mean, Dan, what's your take on it?
It's got to be a slight balance, really, doesn't it? It's like you can't have every game setting a date and then every game delaying it. But at the same time, you can't have every game coming out broken. So we've talked about broken games and everything like that, and you don't want to be in a situation like that. Yeah, but you don't want. You completely derailed me. Cheers. Yeah, but you don't want broken games, but you don't want to have to wait a long period from that game's ready to go.
Yeah.
To having to wait for it to come out because they haven't started marketing.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they get to a point, they start marketing the game out here.
They've got to
market it. If it's not ready, oh well, they have more marketing.
But we said, I mean, we were talking just off air before, and I was asking when Dead Island 2 is out, because I was quite sure that was definitely the early part of this year. Now, they've still yet to even give a date on when this is being released. Now, maybe that's an idea for going forward. Maybe they leave it quite late and they say, look, you're going to be getting this year, we're just not sure when yet. And then, sure enough, a month before it's released, they say this is coming out in 4 weeks' time. Maybe that's an option for the way forward, and then you're not letting anybody down.
That is probably an option, though, for like games that have already got
the
franchise out. It's got a following, as in like people. When you've got games that have got established history, there are going to be fans. People are going to wait for it. People are going to go buy it. They don't need a massive window. Whether if you're a brand new project that's out there, like brand new studio, everything's new about you. You can't afford to just be like, "Hi, buy me."
Is it
there's a week before it comes out? You need to create the interest.
There's a balance on all sides. I think obviously you need to make sure your game is. The most important thing that will override everything is if your game is good or not.
Well,
I know that sounds stupid.
Yeah,
but if a game is good enough, it doesn't matter when it comes out. It doesn't matter how much marketing it's got. People will hear about it, and people will eventually play it.
They will,
because that is the forefront. So in that case, delays are always a good thing because they should, in theory, only be making the game better. But on the flip side, sometimes, marketing, you have to be very special to get that game. Like, I've played a game which I think is pretty good called D4. Heard of that?
Nah.
Not
yes, that's the one you showed.
You've only heard of it because I showed it to you when we were talking about it on the Game of the Week show.
Yes.
Otherwise, would you have heard about it?
Probably not.
Because it is a kind of small indie game, had no real marketing push from Xbox, and then it just came out one week, and it was just, and there's case in point that, like, people haven't heard of it. It's a good game, but I'm pretty sure it ended up being a Games of Gold, so...
The budget for the game is put more into the game rather than marketing the game, and I suppose there was a balance there of how much do you spend on marketing and how much do you spend on the game.
It's difficult. It is a difficult thing because obviously there's an artistic side and there's also much more importantly there's the business side. Which you have to you have, as much as it would be nice to just go, right, this game's finished, it's going to be out in 2 months or 1 month. That would be great, but you need to announce things to keep your shareholders happy.
Okay.
Yeah. I like how you're like, okay, like I'm telling you that's how it is.
Yeah, no. I'm just, I see your point, and I think that certainly assesses the sort of game delay part of it. And in terms of the release dates, and you were saying about when games are released, I suppose that does sort of cover part of that. Yeah,
well, that's kind of another point also is you've got to determine when's best to release your game.
I think
Project Cars again, wasn't it?
Yeah. One thing that's come up like there. I think studios put release dates at some point to actually motivate their staff to get it done as well. You've got to think of that. I mean, if I gave you an open-ended project, would you rush to do it by the time I kind of ideally wanted it, or would you just do it when it's done?
Well, no, but I'm sure they give internal targets inside already. They're like, you have 12 months to finish this. But you don't need to tell the public.
But my point is, though, like, if you didn't bother with the release date at all, would you bother necessarily with the same kind of internal targets? Because if you're just like, it'll be done when it's done.
Yeah, I do see your point.
I see the public, what the studio then.
There's more pressure on you, isn't there? I suppose.
Yeah,
when
deliver.
Everyone knows about it.
Yeah. That's it. You're not just letting the studio down. You're letting all your fans down, and
yeah. So I think there's a little bit of that in there as well.
That's actually a really good point. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
But no, on the actual dates themselves.
Yeah.
Do they? I think again, it comes down to if the game's good. It doesn't matter. A good game will sell at any time.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to understand that, like some of us, we buy a lot more games than maybe the average person.
You think?
How many have you got at the moment? Let's just brush this topic off and go back to backlogs. How many have you
got? 10 I haven't even started yet, and another 10 at least that I need to finish off that I have started.
I thought you were going to be, and I need to buy.
Well, a new game arrived yesterday, I've got a new one arriving today, and then at the end of this week there's Resident Evil and Bloodborne and Battlefield, and I give up, mate, seriously.
So yes, based on the people that maybe buy at most one game a month, sometimes even less. There's some families that could probably only maybe afford to buy a game, on special occasions. So if you're a game, moderate studio, kind of maybe indie, but on like the large side of indie, and you've got this game coming up, and you go, right, we're going to release on this date here. That week or that next week, Activision say Call of Duty is coming out on that day. Do you stick with that day, or do you go, well, we've got to delay it because no one's going to want to play our game when Call of Duty is out, because apparently everyone loves Call of Duty.
Yeah. We had the same conversation with the Project Cars, didn't we? And with there being so many racing games coming out, whether it was wise for them being the smaller of the 3 or 4 at that time. What do we have? Forza, Drive Club.
And The Crew.
The Crew, yeah. We all agreed, I think, that it was in their best interest to delay the game, push it back to this year when there was a bit of a window and all the driving games had been, been and forgotten, and everyone's played them and what have you. And
someone wants a fresh... See, that sort of delay is a smart delay.
Yeah. It makes business sense to do that.
If your business will allow. There's probably some studios, or not studios, publishers, where they're like, this game needs to come out in this particular quarter because we need this many sales, because, businesses...
Money.
Quarterly figures and all that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's it must be a tough one. I'm glad I don't have to make the decision.
Yeah, I don't think there's any right answer. I think it comes down to the person, it comes down to the game, it comes down to all of the circumstances, and I don't think there's any right or wrong answer.
I think the right answer, though, is to just get rid of release dates, and it just kind of comes up.
Yeah.
We never know.
What, just walk into a shop one day and be like, what's out today? Oh,
Yeah.
that's out today.
Do you not ever remember those times? Those times were the best. I went into Woolworths and on a whim I bought this game called Splinter Cell. This was like obviously before really the internet was like big, and I was like, I don't really know much about this. That box art looks cool though, and I bought it and it turned into like one of my favourite games of all time.
Yeah.
Those were good times.
Yeah.
We can't have those anymore though.
Because Woolworths is gone.
Well, yeah, that wasn't really. We've talked about this like on Game Week Show. If we know nothing about the game, it's probably a bad sign.
Yeah.
It's like if it's gone under the radar, it's because no one cares about it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Good topic.
Of course, I chose it. You can't go back on that. You said good topic. It would have been a good topic if I chose it, but this, as it was you, it was mediocre at best.
It was.
But no, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you have enjoyed this, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. Do let us know in the comments down below what you think of releases and delays. Are they good? Are they bad? When's the right time to release a game? Or when's a bad time to release the game? I suppose whenever Call of Duty comes out, it's probably a bad time though.
Yeah, generally.
But yeah, for now, Ashley, Dan,
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
thank you for your time, as always. And everyone out there, we will see you sometime next week.